There was a girl named Anna. At school, she was known as a polite and hard-working student. She never raised her voice, never argued with anyone. She always sat in the front row, keeping her notebooks clean and neat. Anna grew up in a small village. Her family lived a simple life, earning their living through livestock farming. Every morning before sunrise, her mother milked the cows, while her father took care of the animals. Before going to school, Anna helped her mother and then walked along the dusty road with her school bag on her shoulder. Her parents loved Anna deeply. They considered her the pride of the family. "Our daughter will study and become someone in life," they used to say. In the evenings, they ate together, and Anna would share stories from school. Their home was filled with warmth, peace, and trust. At that time, Anna's life was simple, calm, and full of hope. She had no idea what kind of trials were waiting for her ahead. From the outside, Anna's life still looked calm. She went to school, studied well, and continued to earn her teacher's trust. But inside her home, something had changed, and it was impossible not to feel it. In the past, evenings were filled with laughter. Now, silence ruled the dinner table. Her father spoke less, and her mother often stared into one place, lost in thought. Anna didn't fully understand this silence, but deep inside her heart, an unfamiliar sense of fear began to grow. One evening, as Anna finished her chores and was about to go to her room, she overheard her parents talking. They tried to keep their voices low, but the tension in their argument could not be hidden. "There is no other way," her father said in a tired voice. "She is still too young," her mother replied, her voice shaking. "Let her finish school. That's the condition." Anna froze behind the door. She didn't fully understand what they were talking about, but she felt it was about her future. As days passed, the arguments became more frequent. Sometimes voices were raised, sometimes her mother burst into tears. For the first time, Anna clearly saw fear in her mother's eyes. Her father's face, on the other hand, grew colder and harder each day. Finally, one day her father called Anna to his side. His voice was not gentle, it was firm, commanding. "When you finish school, you will get married," he said. "I have a friend." Anna felt the air leave her lungs. Her mind was filled with dreams of education, hopes, and plans for the future. Marriage? A husband? A stranger's house? All of it felt distant and terrifying. "Father, I want to study," she whispered. He did not answer. He simply turned away, ending the conversation. From that day on, home was no longer a safe place for Anna. Every morning she woke up with a heavy heart. She still didn't know the dark reasons behind this decision. After her father's words, Anna's days began to blur into one another. She still went to school, but she no longer listened like before. The teacher explained lessons, classmates wrote in their notebooks, but Anna's mind was elsewhere, at home, in the future, under the shadow of a forced decision. She watched her mother closely. Her mother often fell silent, sometimes trying to hide her tears. At night, she could hear her mother crying softly. She never asked why. She was afraid of the answer. One day, the argument became more intense than ever. Voices were raised. This time, Anna heard everything clearly. "I can't give my daughter such a fate," her mother cried. "If she doesn't agree, you will leave this house," her father replied coldly. "I will throw both of you out." Those words pierced Anna's heart like a knife. She stood frozen near the door. There was no hesitation in her father's voice. This was a threat, real, cold, and final. That night, Anna couldn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling as one question echoed endlessly in her mind. "If I refuse, what will happen to my mother?" In the morning, her mother held Anna's hand. Her hands were cold. "My daughter, please," she whispered. She couldn't say anything else. Her words were stuck in her throat. At that moment, Anna understood everything. This was not a choice. It was a sacrifice. If she said no, her mother would be left without a home. If she agreed, she would break herself. Her father looked at Anna again. This time, there was no love in his eyes, only demand. "The fate of this family is in your hands." In that moment, Anna's childhood ended. She hadn't said yes yet, but something inside her had already shattered. From that day on, Anna no longer felt alive. She walked, spoke, went to school, but there was no life inside her. It was as if her fate had already been written, and she was only forced to read the pages one by one. Her father no longer argued with her. The arguments were over. The decision had been made. Her mother, meanwhile, grew weaker with each passing day. When she looked at Anna, she quickly turned her eyes away. She couldn't find the strength to meet her daughter's gaze. One day, her father called Anna again. This time, there was a guest in the house. The moment she saw him, her heart tightened. A man around 50 years old sat there, gray hair showing, coldness on his face. His eyes scanned Anna from head to toe without shame. "This is her," her father said, as if pointing to an object. "A quiet, well-behaved girl." Anna lowered her head. She couldn't cry. Her tears felt frozen inside. That evening, her mother came to Anna. She held her daughter's face in her hands. "Forgive me, my daughter," she whispered with a trembling voice. "If there was another way." Anna said nothing. She couldn't blame her mother. She had no strength left to blame anyone. Within a few weeks, everything happened too fast. Wedding preparations began, clothes were sewn, food was ordered. In the village, people whispered about the wedding, but no one looked into Anna's eyes and asked if she truly agreed. The wedding day arrived. Anna wore a white dress, but it brought her no happiness. She looked at herself in the mirror and didn't recognize the girl staring back. That girl was no longer Anna. She was someone broken and terrified. The marriage vows were spoken. Words were said. Everyone talked about happiness. Only Anna felt nothing. After the wedding, she was taken to a stranger's house. Strange smells, strange walls, a strange man. Her husband spoke to her with commands. His voice was harsh, his behavior rough. He did not see Anna as a human being, only as something he owned. Every day became a heavy trial for Anna. She stayed silent, knowing no one would listen even if she spoke. At night, she stared out the window, longing for her old home, her mother, her childhood. In just 1 month, she completely changed. Her smile disappeared, her hope faded. Anna was alive, but she was not living. Only 1 month had passed. 1 month, but for Anna, it felt like a lifetime. She became an unwanted presence in that house. Her husband grew even rougher than before. Every word he spoke sounded like a command, every look like humiliation. Anna didn't know what she had done wrong, yet she was always the one to blame. One day, she was sick and exhausted and couldn't finish her chores. That was when his patience ended. "I don't need a woman like you," he said calmly. "Get out of my sight." He didn't shout, he didn't raise his voice, but that calmness made Anna tremble even more because the decision had already been made. Anna said nothing. She didn't even cry. No one needed her tears anymore. She gathered a few of her belongings and returned to her father's house. When she walked through the door, everything looked the same. Everything except Anna. Her mother burst into tears when she saw her, but Anna didn't hug her. There was an emptiness inside her, a deep, hollow emptiness. Her father said nothing. He was sitting at the table, eating breakfast, as if nothing had happened, as if he hadn't destroyed his daughter's life. From that day on, Anna and her mother stopped eating with him. They sat at the same table, yet felt like strangers. Anna couldn't look at her father anymore. The love in her heart had been replaced by cold hatred. She no longer went to school. Books, dreams, plans for the future, all of it was left behind. Anna spent hours sitting by the window, staring outside. She had lost interest in life itself. Her father, meanwhile, sank deeper into silence each day. He avoided his daughter's eyes, but at night, heavy sighs could be heard from his room. Anna didn't know whether it was regret or delayed pain. She only knew one thing for sure: she would never be the same again. A heavy silence filled the house. It was louder than any argument. Her father barely spoke anymore. He woke up early, left the house, and spent the day in the fields or with the livestock. But his steps had become heavy, his shoulders bent. He looked strong from the outside, but inside, he was slowly breaking. Anna tried not to see him. They lived in the same house, yet in completely different worlds. They had become strangers to each other. The hatred building inside Anna never came out, but it ate at her every day. Her mother was crushed between them. She felt as if she was losing both her husband and her daughter at the same time, but she couldn't change anything. At night, her father couldn't sleep. Sometimes he sat alone in the yard, staring at the sky. Other times, heavy sighs came from his room. He kept returning to the past, unsaid words, unexplained truths that gave him no peace. One morning, he didn't wake up. His wife called him. No answer. She shook his shoulders. Still no answer. When the doctor arrived, it was already too late. His heart had given out. He couldn't carry the weight inside him anymore. People gathered at the house. Some cried, others stayed silent. Anna stood quietly. No tears fell from her eyes. She didn't feel guilty, nor relieved. Only a strange emptiness settled inside her. Her father was buried. Life seemed to go on. But Anna knew this story was not over yet, because some truths reveal themselves only after someone is gone. Years passed. Anna had never forgotten the pain, shame, and hopelessness. She had grown up, but the old wounds still lingered in her heart. Life seemed to command her to simply move on, yet Anna was searching for an answer. Why did I have to go through such suffering? One day, among old documents, she found her father's old notebook. The notebook was worn, its edges soft from years of handling, and on the cover was her father's name. Anna's hands trembled as she opened it. And there it was, the whole truth. Her father had written, "Your daughter Anna must be married off because of my debt. The drought destroyed the crops. We could not pay our debts. In exchange, that man demands your daughter. Otherwise, he will seize the land and take your daughter by force." Anna's heart tightened. Until that moment, she had thought her father had forced her simply out of harshness. Now she understood the root of the forced marriage was survival, not malice. Yet, knowing this did not make it any easier. The pain and hatred in her heart remained. She read the entire notebook. Each page detailed her father's life, the family debts, and Anna's fate. Each line carried sacrifice, fear, and obligation. Anna finally understood her father had never forced her out of desire. The situation forced him. Anna closed her eyes. The years of accumulated hatred and pain fell away in a single moment. She still remembered the suffering, but now her heart held understanding and forgiveness. From that day, Anna slowly began to rebuild her life, not from lessons read in books, but from the lessons life itself had given her. Her father was gone, but the truth had been revealed, and that truth was the most precious gift for Anna. She now knew life could be harsh, unfair, sometimes cold and cruel, but with truth and understanding, the heart can be set free. And Anna did just that.